Hello. Ooh, hi, everybody. I'm Kristen. I'm the library director for the Island Free Library on Block Island, and this is an Island Free Library program, Frankenstein Tea. It is a short story program for adult listeners, and I try to go live every day at 3. Sometimes I don't get here, but mostly I do. So here I am today, Tuesday, first day of our work week at the library. So here I am, and I can't decide what to read. I just read a couple of great stories out of this book, the Oxford Book of American Short Stories, edited by Joyce Carol Oates. Big, thick book full of stories. And I read a few good ones, and I'm indecisive. Don't know what to read. Can't tell. Maybe I'll read a few things. I was going to read William Carlos Williams, but it's not sitting well with me. So I'm not going to read that. And I was going to read that from my mom because she loves him, William Carlos Williams. And he has something in here. The short story of his in this book, in this collection, is The Girl with a Pimply Face. Not sitting well with me. I don't think I like it. So then I thought about Ursula K. Le Guin. And her short story in here is called Texts. Well, which has sort of an interesting meaning since we now are all texters. And it's a little tough. There's a couple in here that I'd like to read. I'm going to have to come back to this book this week. I like some of the things in here. So I might go and read Texts. And then I also like the Sandra Cisneros that's in here. And there's like a string of short stories. One is very, very short. One I've read, The House on Mango Street, I've read, but I think I would start there and then read this string together. So that's where we're at. Tough. Some good stories here. Let's go with the Sandra Cisneros. Let's go with that. Let's see if I can get to them. I think there could be the last in the book. Almost. So this first one I've read, for sure, The House on Mango Street. And it's interesting to me because I thought it was a longer story. Oh, that's also the title of a short story collection she has. Okay, that's what I'm thinking. I was gonna say it's also a longer book, but it's not. It's a collection of short stories. So this is the title short story of that collection of short stories. I started up my YouTube episode here, and then I went down to make myself some tea, but I decided on coffee, and it's yummy. It's good. So The House on Mango Street, and then there's 1, 2, 3 more after that, but they're really paragraphs. So they're short stories, but they're short stories. So we can do this. This is only a couple of pages, and I know I've read you this, but let's start from here and read them in sequential order, as this editor, Joyce Carol Oates, has suggested they be read. Sandra Cisneros, The House on Mango Street. We didn't always live on Mango Street. Before that, we lived on Loomis on the 3rd floor. And before that, we lived on Keeler. Before Keeler, it was Paulina. And before that, I can't remember. But what I remember most is moving a lot. Each time it seemed there'd be one more of us. By the time we got to Mango Street, we were 6. Mama, Papa, Carlos, Kiki, my sister Nenny, and me. The house on Mango Street is ours, and we don't have to pay rent to anybody or share the yard with the people downstairs or be careful not to make too much noise. And there isn't a landlord banging on the ceiling with a broom. But even so, it's not the house we thought we'd get. We had to leave the flat on Loomis quick. The water pipes broke and the landlord wouldn't fix them because the house was too old. We had to leave fast. We were using the washroom next door and carrying water over in empty milk gallons. That's why Mama and Papa looked for a house, and that's why we moved into the house on Mango Street, far away, on the other side of town. They told us that one day we would move into a real house that would be ours for always, so we wouldn't have to move each year. And our house would have running water and pipes that worked. And inside it would have real stairs, not hallway stairs, but stairs inside, like the houses on TV. And we'd have a basement and at least 3 washrooms, so when we took a bath, we wouldn't have to tell everybody. Our house would be white with trees around it, a great big yard, and grass growing without a fence. This was the house Papa talked about when he held a lottery ticket, and this was the house Mama dreamed up in the story she told us before we went to bed. But the house on Mango Street is not the way they told it at all. It's small and red, with tight steps in front and windows so small you'd think they were holding their breath. Bricks are crumbling in places, and the front door is so swollen you have to push hard to get in. There is no front yard, only 4 little elms the city planted by the curb. Out back is a small garage for the car we don't own yet, and a small yard that looks smaller between the 2 buildings on either side. There are stairs in our house, but they're ordinary hallway stairs, and the house has only 1 washroom. Everybody has to share a bedroom. Mama and Papa, Carlos and Kiki, me and Nenny. Once, when we were living on Loomis, a nun from my school passed by and saw me playing out front. The laundromat downstairs had been boarded up because it had been robbed 2 days before, and the owner had painted on the wood, "Yes, we're open," so as not to lose business. "Where do you live?" she asked. "There," I said, pointing up to the 3rd floor. "You live there?" "There." I had to look where she pointed. The 3rd floor, the paint peeling, wooden bars Papa had nailed on the windows so we wouldn't fall out. "You live there?" The way she said it made me feel like nothing. "There. I lived there," I nodded. I knew then I had to have a house, a real house, one I could point to. But this isn't it. The house on Mango Street isn't it. For the time being, Mama says. Temporary, says Papa. But I know how those things go. What Sally said. He never hits me hard. She said her mama rubs lard on all the places where it hurts. Then at school, she'd say she fell. That's where all the blue pit places come from. That's why her skin is always scarred. But who believes her? A girl that big, a girl who comes in with her pretty face all beaten and black, can't be falling off the stairs. He never hits me hard. But Sally doesn't tell about the time he hit her with his hands, just like a dog, she said, like if I was an animal. He thinks I'm going to run away like his sisters who made the family ashamed, just because I'm a daughter, and then she doesn't say. Sally was going to get permission to stay with us a little, and one Thursday she came finally with a sack full of clothes and a paper bag of sweetbread her mama sent. And would have stayed, too, except when the dark came, her father, whose eyes were little from crying, knocked on the door and said, "Please come back. This is the last time." And she said, "Daddy," and went home. Then we didn't need to worry. Until one day, Sally's father catches her talking to a boy, and the next day she doesn't come to school. And the next. Until the way Sally tells it, he just went crazy. He just forgot he was her father between the buckle and the belt. You're not my daughter. You're not my daughter. And then he broke into his hands. Linoleum roses. Sally got married like we knew she would, young and not ready, but married just the same. She met a marshmallow salesman at a school bazaar, and she married him in another state where it's legal to get married before 8th grade. She has her husband and house now, her pillowcases and her plates. She says she is in love, but I think she did it to escape. Sally says she likes being married because now she gets to buy her own things when her husband gives her money. She is happy, except sometimes her husband gets angry, and once he broke the door where his foot went through, though most days he is okay. Except he won't let her talk on the telephone, and he doesn't let her look out the window, and he doesn't like her friends, so nobody gets to visit her unless he is working. She sits at home because she is afraid to go outside without his permission. She looks at all the things they own, the towels and the toaster, the alarm clock and the drapes. She likes looking at the walls, at how neatly their corners meet, the linoleum roses on the floor, the ceiling smooth as wedding cake. A house of my own. Not a flat, not an apartment in back, not a man's house, not a daddy's, a house all my own, with my porch and my pillow, my pretty purple petunias, my books and my stories, my 2 shoes waiting beside the bed, nobody to shake a stick at, nobody's garbage to pick up after, only a house quiet as snow, a space for myself to go, clean as paper before the poem. That was Sandra Cisneros. There's an introduction about her, a small bio before those 4 stories. I'm going to read you the last paragraph. Cisneros' gift is for the luminous image, the revelatory phrase. Her emotionally rich subject is the Latino community, specifically the experience of growing up female in a male-dominated society. Her work, as these selections suggest, might be as readily classified as prose poetry as prose fiction. The Oxford Book of American Short Stories, edited by Joyce Carol Oates. More to read from this book this week. See what else we can do. Those are today's selections. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you have a good afternoon. What do you know? It's a gray day in Rhode Island. Hang in there, everybody. Stay well. Be good to yourself. Treat yourself. Go get some ice cream. I had ice cream last night after dinner. I had ice cream late. I fell asleep after dinner and then woke up and had ice cream. It was delicious. It was gelato. It was fudge brownie gelato. Go treat yourself, everybody. You deserve it. Be well. Mask up. Wash your hands. Follow your protocols. New president tomorrow. See what happens next. Bye. Peace.